And so we begin our holiest week of the year. Yesterday, students from St. Augustine's hosted a confirmation retreat. High school students from all over central and northern Idaho, they came here, like 60 or so of them. And towards the end of the day, we held a mass, the vigil mass for Palm Sunday, like we're doing now. But instead of doing a procession from the front doors of the church, we went up into the middle of campus and began there. We started at the Campus Christian Center, and that's where we blessed our palms, and we walked down Greek Row, right by the perch. And as we walked by with our palms waving, singing about Jesus, Hosanna to the Lord, I noticed, I was sort of wondering what the response of bystanders would be towards us. It's kind of a little nerve-wracking doing something like that. And I noticed that most people just didn't care. They didn't take much notice. And that got me thinking. Most people don't care. When it comes to the things of God, most people don't care. But we do. We care deeply. So much so that we are asked and commanded to care about the things that God cares about. That is, as we mature in the gospel and as the more and more we allow the life of Christ to permeate our life, as St. Paul says, to take on the mind of Christ, then we begin to see the world through that lens and we begin to care about very important things that the world doesn't care about. Now, the world cares about a lot of things, but they're generally not the same things that God cares about. Most people generally don't care. At least that's my perception. For an example, why is there still such a huge problem with abducting people and trafficking them in the sex trade industry that continues to go on every day? Why is that still happening? Enough of us must not care enough to make it stop. Many, many, many poor people all around us. Why hasn't this ended? Even the abuse of our environment. We'll go to that one. Why hasn't that stopped? Apparently not enough of us care. Enough. But we do care. And that's what Holy Week is about. We care. Because God cares deeply about us and about the real things of life. He cares very much. He cares that much. And during this week, we are all going to relive these events, to be renewed in them, so that we too will care deeply about the things of God. And that will deeply affect how we engage the world. I'm filled with much hope and excitement with Pope Francis. Kind of neat having a new pope, isn't it? I love Pope Benedict too. But Pope Francis, what I see him doing in a certain part, he took the name Francis because Francis was also a great reformer of the church. And Francis drew the attention of the church onto some very important things, oftentimes simple things. Now, the church will always be dealing with the big issues, but Francis is having us also remember once again those little things that are very important to care about. For example, on Holy Thursday, this coming Holy Thursday, Pope Francis is not going to offer Holy Thursday Mass in the Basilica in Rome. He's going to offer the Mass in a prison. That's a corporal work of mercy. All of us are called to visit the imprisoned. When's the last time we've done that? Have you ever? God cares about that. There's lots of things to care about. Let this be a week where our faith is enlivened again to care about the things that are really most important. There's many important things. I will pray for you this week. Will you pray for me? There's a lot of things I need to focus on in my life. I'm preaching to myself here, right? That I too would once again focus on and more deeply on those things which are most important. Let's do that together. Because God cares very, very deeply.